O.J. Simpson, the former NFL hero, became one of America's most polarizing and often loathed figures after committing a heinous act in 1994. Once a revered athlete, Simpson went from a Hall of Fame icon to a murder suspect. But what led this iconic yet controversial figure to go down this path? Let's start from the very beginning. O.J. Simpson's story is one that captivated the world, not only because of his accomplishments on the football field, but also due to the dramatic events that unfolded off the pitch. Born Orenthal James Simpson on July 9, 1947, in San Francisco, California, Simpson was a son of Eunice, née Durden, an administrator at a psychiatric ward, and Jimmy Lee Simpson, who was a cook at the Federal Reserve Bank and a custodian for both a bank and a private club. His father was also a well-known drag queen in the San Francisco Bay Area. Later in life, Jimmy Simpson announced that he was gay. He later died of AIDS in 1986. Simpson rose to fame as one of the most electrifying running backs in NFL history before his life took a dark and tragic turn. He was called O.J. from birth and did not know that Orenthal was his given name until much later on in life. Simpson had one brother, Melvin Leon Truman Simpson, one living sister, Shirley Simpson Baker, and one deceased sister, Carmelita Simpson Durio. Simpson grew up in San Francisco and lived with his family in the housing projects of the low-income area of the Potrero Hill neighborhood. As a child, Simpson developed rickets and wore braces on his legs until the age of 5, giving him his bow-legged stance. In his early teenage years, Simpson joined a street gang called the Persian Warriors and was briefly incarcerated at the San Francisco Youth Guidance Center. His first wife, Marguerite, who he dated from his teenage years, described him as a really awful person back then. After his third arrest, Simpson happened to meet with baseball star Willie Mays, who encouraged the youth to avoid trouble. He said it helped persuade him to reform. Simpson's journey to football stardom began at Galileo High School in San Francisco, where he displayed prodigious talent on the gridiron. His exceptional speed, agility, and vision made him a standout player, earning him a scholarship to play college football at the University of Southern California. At USC, Simpson continued to dazzle on the field, earning All-American honors and setting numerous records during his collegiate career. He won the Heisman Trophy in 1968, solidifying his status as one of the most dominant players in college football history. In 1969, Simpson was selected first overall in the NFL draft by the Buffalo Bills, launching his professional football career. They snatched Simpson up, but he demanded the largest contract in professional sports history, which was $650,000 over 5 years. In today's standards, that's a lot of money. This led to a standoff with the Bills owner Ralph Wilson, as Simpson threatened to become an actor and skip professional football. Eventually, Wilson agreed to pay Simpson. Over the next decade, he would become one of the most iconic and celebrated athletes in the NFL, earning the nickname The Juice for his electrifying playing style. Simpson's tenure with the Buffalo Bills was nothing short of legendary. He led the league in rushing 4 times, earned 5 Pro Bowl selections, and was named the NFL's most valuable player in 1973, with 2 250-yard games against the New England Patriots in 1973 and a 273-yard game against the Detroit Lions in 1976. In both seasons, Simpson had consecutive games in which he surpassed the 200 yards rushing. His incredible speed and elusiveness made him a nightmare for opposing defenses, and he became the first player in NFL history to rush for over 2,000 yards in a 14-game season, and he is the only player to rush for over 200 yards in 6 different games in his career. Off the field, Simpson was a charismatic personality, known for his charm, wit, and magnetic presence. He parlayed his football success into a lucrative career in Hollywood, appearing in films and television shows, and becoming a beloved celebrity figure. Simpson said that he did not seriously consider an acting career until seeing Lee Marvin and Richard Burton while filming The Klansman in Oroville, California. He said in 1980 that the Oscar or the Emmy says you've reached a level of competence in this business, and I would love to have one. Here's a fun fact. According to Arnold Schwarzenegger, Simpson was considered by director James Cameron to play the eponymous character in The Terminator 1984. When Schwarzenegger was cast as Kyle Reese, but Cameron ultimately cast Schwarzenegger as the Terminator, while Simpson had no involvement in the film. Besides his acting career, Simpson worked as a commentator for Monday Night Football and the NFL on NBC. He also appeared in the audience of Saturday Night Live during its 2nd season and hosted an episode during the 3rd season. However, Simpson's life took a dramatic and tragic turn in 1994, when he became embroiled in one of the most notorious criminal cases in American history. On June 12, 1994, Simpson's ex-wife, Nicole Brown Simpson, and her friend Ronald Goldman were brutally stabbed to death outside her home in Los Angeles. The ensuing investigation and trial captivated the nation, as Simpson became the prime suspect in the double homicide. What followed was a sensationalized media circus, as the trial played out on live television, dominating headlines and sparking intense public interest and scrutiny. The prosecution painted Simpson as a jealous and violent ex-husband with a history of domestic abuse, alleging that he had murdered Nicole and Goldman in a fit of rage. As news of the murders spread, Suspicion quickly fell on O.J. Simpson, who had a history of violence and a contentious relationship with Nicole. Evidence began to mount against Simpson, including bloodstains, DNA evidence, and a trail of circumstantial clues that seemed to point to his guilt. However, Simpson's defense team, led by renowned attorney Johnny Cochran, mounted a vigorous defense, casting doubt on the credibility of the prosecution's evidence and raising questions about police misconduct and racial bias. Cochran famously argued that Simpson was the victim of a racially motivated conspiracy and urged the jury to deliver a verdict of not guilty. On October 3, 1995, after a highly publicized and contentious trial, Simpson was acquitted of all charges, shocking the world and igniting a firestorm of debate and controversy. The verdict was met with widespread outrage and disbelief, with many questioning the integrity of the justice system and the influence of celebrity privilege. Despite his acquittal, Simpson's reputation was irreparably tarnished by the trial, and he remained a deeply polarizing figure in the years that followed. In 1997, he was found liable for the deaths of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman in a civil lawsuit and was ordered to pay millions in damages to their families. And in 2007, Simpson made headlines once again when he was arrested and charged with armed robbery and kidnapping in Las Vegas. He was accused of stealing sports memorabilia at gunpoint from a hotel room, claiming that the items rightfully belonged to him. In 2008, Simpson was convicted on all charges and sentenced to 33 years in prison. The O.J. Simpson case remains one of the most enduring and polarizing chapters in American legal history, leaving a lasting impact on the public consciousness and raising profound questions about race, celebrity, and the pursuit of justice. While the truth behind the murders of Nicole Brown Simpson and Ronald Goldman may never be fully known, the legacy of the case continues to reverberate through society, serving as a cautionary tale of the complexities and injustices of the criminal justice system. So the question is, where is the notorious O.J. Simpson? Sadly, he passed on due to cancer at the age of 76. Simpson's legal troubles and controversies have continued to follow him throughout his life, overshadowing his football accomplishments and casting a dark shadow over his legacy. Today, he remains a polarizing and divisive figure, remembered both as a football legend and as a symbol of the dark side of fame and fortune. That brings us to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this, please leave a like. Also, consider subscribing to our channel by clicking on the bell icon. That'll help you to stay up to date with our latest contents. Check out these other clips from our channel and keep balling.